AI has made it so much easier to be productive as a UX researcher. And when I say that, what I mean is everything I'm always obsessing over in the problem space, right? Finding those problems worth solving. I want to help make sure that you're leveraging a full stack of what these tools are capable of to level up your game as well too. Now, where this comes from is my experience is in doing a ton of research in this finding problems worth solving space. And the reason why I'm borderline obsessive over this, and this is, you will hear me be a broken record about this over and over again, is because this is where I think most SaaS products or projects or businesses ultimately fail. They fail to really find and establish a solid problem we're solving, and instead they just move forward, they sprint forward in designing and building a solution a lot of times to a problem that doesn't really exist, or it just then winds up being a weak problem. So that's why I spend so much time here. And AI has transformed just about everything in tech, but this is specifically going to focus on research in the problem space and how you can leverage it to get more value out of your process. So the first point that I want to make is that if you're still taking notes manually when you're interviewing prospects or you're doing problem research, stop that immediately. What you need to do is get yourself an AI note taker. What I use and love at this point is Fathom. It does such a fantastic job of so many things. I add it to every one of my calls. It not just records, it transcribes, and it creates summary notes as well. Plus, they even have an interactive kind of AI chatbot itself where you can actually like ask questions in natural language and get answers about what was talked about on that call or in that conversation. So ton of value there. Delegate all of that to the AI note taker so that you can focus on having a more impactful and meaningful conversation with your prospect. So that's point number one. Number two is, because AI has blown up all things when it comes to software, especially from a development perspective, and now we're talking about research, it's become more important now to do the research and do the research effectively in the problem space than ever. Reason why I say that is because AI has made it so much easier to build solutions, which is great. And don't get me wrong, I'm doing it myself and having a lot of fun doing it. But that is just a bit too enticing and makes that risk of building a solution to a problem that doesn't exist even greater, because you're so excited to move forward, you're so excited to build, you may move ahead before you actually have properly validated and found a problem worth solving. So now more than ever, the research is critically important. So that's point number two. Point number three is AI can provide a lot more value in this user research and finding problems worth solving process than just what I've already mentioned in the form of transcription and recording, and even when you get to like the building process and leveraging agents to do the actual development work. What I want you to do is I want you to use AI tools. They could even be like the web-based version. That's what I do most of the time. And I'm talking about like ChatGPT, Claude, and things like it to help you with the strategy, the research, and the planning for all of the user research that you want to do and everything that you want to focus on in the problem space. So let's say I'm setting up a user research project and I want to go deep in a target market, or I want to interview prospects to try to find those problems worth solving. What I'll do first is I'll interact with Claude and I'll just have a conversation basically. Sometimes I'll even talk to the AI and then that's how I'll go back and forth or type. But what I'll be saying is like, here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find a problem we're solving in this space, right? For this specific target market and for these specific users that have these titles or whatever, right? I'll give it all of that context and I'll workshop back and forth with the AI to help me with planning and setting up the strategy for moving forward from there, right? It's created interview guides and planning tools and all kinds of cool stuff, which helps me a ton with the research. So I want you to leverage AI extensively throughout the user research process as well too. Then on the back end, after you have leveraged your AI note taker to capture all this context when you're talking to your prospects and you're doing this research in the problem space, use it yet again by providing it with the context that your AI note taker has captured across ideally a series of interviews. Now you can find patterns and interesting things in the data that you've collected, right? And you'll work with AI again there to maybe on the back end create something in the form of a report, terms of the findings, all the way to and through a potential roadmap that is data driven, right? So based on the touch points you've had with multiple prospects, it can essentially create for you, here's a roadmap of the most important features and functionality that those prospects are looking for based on your conversations, and you can move forward into the solution design space with all of that great context with AI having done a lot of the heavy lifting for you to make the whole process significantly easier. So, how do you apply these concepts? Where do you go from here? Well, I believe Fathom has a free trial, but there's a ton of other AI note takers out there. If you're having conversations with prospects and you're still taking notes by hand, get access to one and use that for the research that you're doing, and then figure out cool and unique ways to leverage that additional context, like interacting with ChatGPT or Claude to do some planning, strategy, create some reports, try to figure out how to create a roadmap from however many touch points or conversations you've had. So there's a lot of good, cool, actionable stuff there. And I'd love to hear feedback from you as well too. So either contact me via email, leave a comment, whatever you want to do. I'm curious to hear more about how you're leveraging these tools, what's working, and where there are other areas where you'd like help. And then just to recap in terms of what I talked about here and a couple of key points. 1, go for the note taker. 2, research is now more important than ever. And 3, you can use AI for a lot more than just those two. You can use AI to help you with planning, research, strategy, creating reports, even creating roadmaps. So take full advantage, level up your user research game, do even more effective work faster in the problem space by leveraging AI in all these ways.